Bring on the phone live our aviation lawyer expert who we've been talking to. He's been giving us excellent perspective over the last several days since Tuesday. Ladd Sanger. Ladd, thank you again for joining us. You listened to Todd Inman. You heard Connie and I break down the headlines that have caught our eye. What races to the top of your mind about this new information he's giving on this Friday?
So number one, I've been talking about the different call-outs that the pilots make as they're going through the takeoff and the importance of V1 and VR. What we now know from the cockpit voice recorder and the briefing is that the pilots did everything according to their checklists and their top procedures. They got to V1, they decided to continue the takeoff. They had no abnormality. They got to VR, they continued the takeoff in accordance with their procedures. And it wasn't until after all of those speed call-outs had been made that they got the first alert, which was the persistent bell. And at that point, the aircraft is in the air. There's nothing the pilots can do to arrest this just critical catastrophic failure. So I think that's important for the pilots and their families to know that everything we see here now based on this CVR is that the pilots acted in accordance with their procedures and policies, and there was really nothing they could do. Number two, the left engine pylon still attached to the engine. So these are designed to be frangible so that the engine can break off. I'm a little confused about exactly what he says is left on the engine with regard to the pylon, because he then said there's some pictures, but then later it looks like it's different than what we're saying. But what that's saying is that is going to be a focus of the investigation. Why did the pylon fail and cause the engine to depart the aircraft? And I think you then need to look at the heavy check in San Antonio. There would be no reason in the time since this plane left the heavy check in San Antonio for there to be maintenance work done on those kind of heavy attached fittings.
Ladd, how unusual is it that they would actually send people down there to look through any records from that heavy check that they did in San Antonio over 6 weeks?
Not unusual that they want to get all the aircraft's maintenance records, but obviously we have a major structural failure that led to this accident. That structural failure occurred in the area of the left engine. The major heavy check that was done in San Antonio would have been inspecting and working on those areas. So I think you're going to see the focus of the investigation be on what was done in San Antonio, how that work was done, what was reattached, what was inspected. We know that there were some cracks in this aircraft that were found during the inspection. We know that there was corrosion found in the aircraft. And there's going to be, as Mr. Inman said, voluminous maintenance records that need to be combed through. But focusing on that left engine and its attach points are going to be very, very important.
Ladd, give me your theory on what the persistent repeating bell is.
I think that the hint that Mr. Inman gave us is he said there was a persistent and repeating bell. He wouldn't speculate on what it was, although he said we know there was a fire. So there's fire warning systems in the aircraft that activate master caution warning systems, and the ding, ding, ding. A logical inference from what Mr. Inman said would be that would be an engine fire warning.
Let me ask you, let me give you a quote. You've been talking a lot about the left engine here with Connie and I. Let me give you his direct quote yesterday. We found multiple pieces of engine fan blades along with the main component of the engine of the number one engine, which is on the left side of the aircraft. Does that maybe fill in some blanks as to what you were talking about with the pylon?
So the fan blades are the fact that there was disintegration and breakup of fan blades would be consistent with the engine falling off or moving. Remember that these fans are spinning at very high speed, and if there's any kind of movement, relative movement of airflow design, other than straight on, or you get the engine coming off the aircraft, it would that fan is going to contact the case. It's going to start damaging fan blades. So that would be consistent with what we're seeing is the engine falling off and fan blade damage. Those would go together.
All right. They also have asked, the NTSB has asked UPS for a plane with similar engine to look over it that's very similar. They want to see if they can, look at that and compare. Is that pretty standard as well?
Yes.
He said exemplary aircraft. Is there such a thing?
Well, it's exemplar, EXEMPLAR. In other words, sample. Similar.
Okay.
Gotcha.
What they're
Okay,
going to be
thanks for
doing,
clarifying that.
Sure. So what they're going to do is they're going to go to the exemplar aircraft, and they're going to look at the attached fittings. They're going to look at the different bolts and how they interface. They're going to document it photographically. Then they're going to look at the accident parts, and they may not be able to find all parts of this pylon and engine. That was another thing that Mr. Inman said. He said, we have video of it, but something to the effect of what we found on the ground is different than what we saw in the video, and it may. And my inference on that is that during the crash, the left engine pylon support area was further damaged, which we would expect. Could have been damaged also by the in-flight fire.
Ladd, can I ask you to hang on with us real quick? I want to play a statement that the Louisville mayor put out just a moment ago before we go down to the 3:30 point in this broadcast. So let's